I married a man who's in prison for the rest of his life. Hi, Scene TV. This is my story. I actually met my husband through prisonpenpals.com. I'd watched some death row documentaries, and I was moved to write someone that was on death row, and I was actually going to write someone in Texas, and then I stopped myself and I said, I want to see if there's anybody closer to home, like in Louisiana. I had never written to anybody in prison before. I had never visited a prison before. I had no experience with the prison system, but I was just moved to reach out to let them know they weren't alone, and that, people out here care about them because they're human beings. And when I saw his profile and I read it, something in my stomach just said, stop here. I had looked into his case before I even wrote to him. I'm a researcher, so I love digging and finding things and making sure this was a road that I did want to go down. And I wanted to hear it from him. And so our first contact visit, he did sit there in front of me face to face, and he told me the entire story of what happened that day. And, I told him, I deserve the truth, and I deserve, to know what happened that day from your mouth. We held each other's hands, and he told me the whole story. We had just turned 20 years old. I call it a carjacking gone wrong that went into the possible worst case scenario. Unfortunately, a gentleman lost his life. He was a first-time offender. So he just got in with the wrong crowd, and they put him in a wrong position to make a really bad decision. I knew he was a death row inmate from day one. He's been incarcerated for 26 years. And that first visit, I will never forget him. At that time, we had a glass visit, which is where, there's a glass wall between you, and he popped his head in and he had the biggest smile. And seeing him in person just solidified that this is my person, this is my soulmate, this is who I'm meant to be with. He was the man I've been wanting my whole life and needing, just because he is so supportive and he is so caring, and he's, to me, he's a beautiful person. He proposed to me in the visitation room. It was a Christmas visit, so it was myself, him, his best friend, which is his sister, and his two parents, his mom and his stepdad. And he proposed in front of the Christmas tree in the visitation room with all of them. We had a commitment ceremony in the visiting shed where we read vows to each other, and we celebrated just sitting together and spending the day together. Louisiana has started ramping up executions. We have hope that, with his case in particular, he can hopefully get off of death row, even if that means getting a life sentence or something like that. But we have talked about the day of what that would be like. And, we talked about the fact that if I was able to be there, I would have my hand on the glass. I wouldn't want him to be alone. And I would see him on the other side one day, and we would sing "You Are My Sunshine" in our heads, because that's our song. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. And, yeah, that's pretty much what we would do. That, thank God we had the time that we had together here on this earth in this life. And thank God I found him, It's not an easy road, but, if you found someone that you love and they just happen to be incarcerated, it doesn't mean that it's not true love. I am seen. Are you?
And for more stories,